Hi everyone, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Zach.
And today we're bringing you a recipe for a revolution, the French Revolution.
We'll show you the ingredients that caused it, the steps that made it happen, and the final results that changed France forever.
Let's get cooking! Our first ingredient is social inequality. Make sure your cup is overfilled with peasants paying taxes that they cannot afford.
French society was deeply divided into three estates. The first estate consisted of the clergy, the second estate included the nobles, and the third estate was made up of everyone else, peasants, workers, and the middle class. Despite making up the vast majority of the population, the third estate carried out the burden of nearly all the taxes, while the privileged first and second estates paid little to none and enjoyed special rights. This unfair system created growing resentment as the third estate struggled under the weight of financial inequality and lack of representation.
Our next ingredient is economic crisis. Years of war spending and King Louis XV breathless spending left France drowning in debt. And guess who pays for it? You guessed it, the Third Estate.
France was drowning in debt, a financial situation that had been building for decades due to extravagant spending and costly wars. The country's involvement in the American Revolution, while aiding the United States in gaining independence, placed a massive financial burden on the French treasury.
And now, for flavor, sprinkle in a dash of Enlightenment ideas.
During this time, Enlightenment thinkers like Rousseau, Voltaire, and Montesquieu began spreading revolutionary ideas about liberty, equality, and democracy. They challenged the idea of absolute monarchy and divine right, promoting concepts like popular sovereignty and individual rights. These ideas gave the people hope for a fair society and emboldened them to question the authority of the king and demand real change.
Don't forget a quarter cup of famine. Poor harvest in the 1780s caused bread prices to soar. And you know what they say, let them eat cake. Except there is no cake.
In the late 1780s, poor harvest devastated France's agriculture, leading to widespread hunger and suffering. Bread, the staple food for most families, became scarce and prices soared to the point where many couldn't afford even the most basic necessities. Starvation and depression spread rapidly, fueling anger and unrest among the population. When people are starving and losing hope, they are far more likely to rise up and demand action.
Finally, our last two ingredients. Add in one indecisive King Louis XV, who struggles to lead and doesn't know whether to tax the nobles or listen to the people. Next, also add in his poor leadership skills and mix them both.
While the country spiraled deeper into chaos, King Louis XV failed to address the escalating crisis effectively. Instead of focusing on the well-being of his people, he continued to indulge in a life of luxury at the Palace of Versailles, where lavish banquets and opulent lifestyles were the norm. This blatant disregard for the suffering of the subjects alienated him further from the common people and even parts of the nobility. Moreover, his poor leadership only exacerbated the situation. When Louis XV eventually recognized the severity of the financial and social crisis, his attempts to implement reforms were marked by indecision and inefficiency. For example, when he convened the Estates General in 1789, a meeting of representatives from the three social classes in France, it quickly became clear that he lacked the authority and decisiveness needed to mediate the growing tensions between the estates. Instead of uniting the nation, his inability to take strong and effective action deepened divisions, setting the stage for the outbreak of the French Revolution.
Put your cookies on a platter and put the platter into the oven. It looks like the cookies are done. Let's take them out of the oven.
Thou shalt show no fear. Mighty eyes and Lord, I shall hold my post. This is where I made my stand.